Today we debate
invisibility versus flight.
Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning!
Yeah, we're gonna debate it up again today.
Yeah.
The last debate that we debated was cats versus dogs, and we have tallied the
Who won
results.
that, Link?
It was really close, down to the fur on the, I don't know, some analogy of cats and dogs, but dogs won.
Hey!
Just by the slimmest of margins. But you know,
again, when we ask
on any given day, it could go any given way for that one.
when we ask you to vote at the end of this, which position you're not voting. It's not a popularity contest.
You're not voting for me.
You're not voting
or
for
him,
me or for Link. You're voting for
the issues.
the issues and how well it was argued.
in the
okay?
comments below, and your comments make a difference.
They do
somehow.
in the greater scheme of the world.
And yeah,
Okay, are we ready to debate invisibility versus flight? I'm taking flight.
and I'm taking invisibility, and I almost accidentally said invincibility, and then if I had
Invincibility.
to, if I was like, I'm totally not prepared for that.
Okay, well, stick with invisibility.
All right, so I'm gonna stick with invisibility.
It's another Debate-orama.
Hello again. How you doing? Great. How are you?
to tell you, I'm dating your first wife, Dorothy.
Well, that's your problem.
We met on farmersonly.com.
Oh yeah? Well, just keep in mind, she's allergic to shellfish. You're gonna want to remember that.
Neither one of us is a farmer, which is the weird part.
You're gonna want to use that against her.
But I'm
Trust
trying
me.
to connect with the farm, get the farm vote.
Get the farm vote. That's good.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, there
Good
you
morning.
Good morning. Today we debate flight versus invisibility.
Are. Yes, we do.
Rhett's going to be going first
Okay.
with flight.
Boy, the timers. It's also pressurized.
Rhett, you have 90 seconds for your introduction. Are you prepared and ready?
Yes.
I'm gonna be taking notes,
Okay,
so
You
just
can-
don't be alarmed. I do that every time.
that's fine.
You should be intimidated by me taking notes.
I'm ready and waiting.
Rhett, your introduction starts now.
I'd like to thank Link, my debater, and I'd like to thank the mythical beast, and I'd like to thank your wife, your first wife, Dorothy, and the people of the farms. Has anyone ever looked into the sky and seen a bird floating on the wind and thought, that must suck? No, you thought, that must be awesome, because it would be awesome. It is awesome. Flight is awesome. The most respected comic book heroes in history, Superman, Wonder Woman, Hawkman, they all have something in common. What's that? They can fly. Sure, Wonder Woman is in an invisible plane, not a point for invisibility. She looks like she's flying even though she's in a seated position. When
No,
you
she doesn't.
With flight, you can go anywhere you want to go. You can go anywhere you want to go without a car. You don't have to worry about parking. You can fly anywhere in the world without a plane, which means you don't have to wait in the airport security line, which means that you will never be cavity searched, because that is the thing that happens with TSA. Say no to cavity searches and yes to flight. To fly is to be free, like a majestic bald eagle. If you believe in freedom, you believe in flight. Invisibility is to hide yourself from freedom, like a shameful, naked mole rat that lives inside a side of a hill and occasionally comes out to see if the sun is shining, at which point the freedom eagle descends on him, grabs him, takes him back to the eaglets, rips him apart, and feeds on his entrails. Freedom, flight,
Mr. Rhett.
forever, farmersonly.com. Not a sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Rhett. Mr. Link, it's time for your 30-second cross-examination.
I'm glad I'm not you. You're dating my ex-wife, and for everything that you just said. You mentioned a couple things here. Traveling anywhere you want, you can do that by being invisible too. You don't have to wait in lines because they can't see you. You can skip the lines, and you can still get on a plane.
Where are you going to be? The bathroom?
And go anywhere. How do you cavity
you
search?
sit in the aisle?
How do you cavity search an invisible person?
I don't want to know, but I bet your hand disappears.
You mentioned freedom. Try flying through the mall in nothing but whitey-tighties and Uggs. What would happen?
I'm not interested in that.
You would be arrested, but that's the
Mr.
freedom
Link.
that invisibility gives
Mr.
you, people.
Link, please.
Interesting.
Order.
Fly through the mall in whitey-tighties and
Link.
Hold
Uggs.
on, man. You get your
Freedom.
own
Mr.
intro.
Link. Mr. Link, it's time for your 90-second introduction.
She doesn't like shellfish, huh?
Sure, nope, use that to your
She had a
advantage.
shrimp cocktail last night.
Please begin now.
I'd like to thank
didn't know.
the Mythical Beast. I'd like to thank the farmers for taking this guy. And I'd like to thank you for listening. Sure, we'd all like to fly. That would indeed be awesome. I'd like to build the world's largest roller coaster in my own backyard with seats made out of massage chairs, but something tells me that after a year, I'd be posting that thing on Craigslist. Right? Because we want more than fun out of life. We want knowledge. Knowledge is power, and power is invisibility. Wouldn't you like to know why Stephanie dumped you after the prom? You could know that information. You could be party to that, man. If you were invisible, you want to get a leg up in your job interview? Just spend a week of reconnaissance beforehand, figuring out what they want. And if the boss still doesn't hire you, you can haunt him. Ooh, floating stapler. He's scared now. He should have hired me. You should have hired me. That's right. You talk about heroes. The whole Wonder Woman thing made no sense. Don't be deceived. Flight is not heroic. It is self-absorbed showboating. Look at me. I'm air swimming. Listen. Invisibility is truly heroic because it is selfless. It is about the final product. Why, how, and when did Harry Potter find the Sorcerer's Stone? He found it from the invisibility cloak, man. The One Ring, what power did it give Frodo? Invisibility. Casper the Friendly Ghost is so friendly. Why? Because he's invisible. My best friend in kindergarten, invisible. These are the people that I want to hang out with. These are the heroes
Mr. Lake.
I want to emulate.
Mr. Lake, please calm down.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay. Mr. Red, it's time for your 30-second cross-examination. Begin.
I'm going to ignore two things. Number one, the fact that you said invisibility. And number two,
I don't have the power of pronunciation.
the fact that you suggested hanging out in a girl's bedroom to get secrets. I mean, I'm going to ignore that and just say, sure, Frodo did some amazing things
Right.
while invisible, but don't forget, the whole point of the trilogy was to destroy the ring that made you invisible. It was a bad thing. Flight, a good thing. Remember the Eagles in The Lord of the Rings? They're the heroes. Or was that in The Hobbit? Yeah, it was
Mr.
the same
Rat.
deal. Peter Jackson,
Thank you, Mr. Rat.
farmers.
Mr. Link, it's time for your 30-second rebuttal.
Yes, you could use any power for creepy means, but you could also use it to make a positive difference in society. You could fight crime by eavesdropping on villains using invisibility. What are you gonna do, just fly around a villain? What's gonna happen? He's gonna kill you in whatever way that villains kill people. It's also still very fun to be invisible. You could like stay in any hotel room you want to stay in. You just have to
As
find a
long
way.
as it's not occupied.
What? No, it could be occupied.
You sleep in the other bed? What about the hump in the bed?
Please,
The
order.
hump's gonna freak people out, man.
What? Oh, you mean
Please, we
sleep
need
on top
order.
of the comforter?
We need order for this
And nobody
debate.
wants that.
Please calm down. We need order. Mr. Red, it's time for your 30-second rebuttal.
Okay, you said
I'm checking off some good
you
points.
said
over
you
here.
wanted to walk around the mall in a pair of Uggs
whitey tighties.
and whitey tighties. But
Right.
you realize
Freedom.
what that would look like? It would look like a pair of Uggs and whitey tighties because Uggs and whitey tighties are not invisible. You got to be naked, man. What if you want to buy a candy bar? If you're not going to eat it
Frodo
right
wasn't
away,
naked.
what you going to do with that candy bar? I can think of a couple of places to put it. But the problem is,
I would eat it. And what would it become invisible?
when you ate it, it would. But when you were holding it, it would just be a candy bar,
Floating
suspended.
candy bar.
Who wants to be a
haunted
floating
order.
candy bar in Uggs?
Please.
Me.
Mr. Link, it's time for your second 30-second rebuttal.
Flying is not as fun as one might first think that it is. I hate to burst your bubble here, but just think about all the bugs that are going to be hitting you, and the bird poop.
Helmet.
You got to build like a fuselage. Before you know it, you build a plane around you just because of the bird poop.
No, just a suit.
You're exposed to the elements. You want to go to the Alps? Good luck with
I do.
the frostbite and the lack of oxygen.
Neoprene.
What are you?
Neoprene.
A wetsuit?
All covered in neoprene.
Listen, you're gonna have to take a
called the Black
suitcase wherever you go. You're gonna get
Mr.
tired
Link.
trying to fly with a suitcase
Backpack.
Order.
or a backpack.
Please.
And a fanny pack. I could put fanny packs all up and down my legs.
Please.
Yeah, that fits your
We
MO
need
right
order.
there.
The fanny flyer.
The flying
We need
fanny
order,
pack.
please. Mr. Red, it's time for your final 30-second rebuttal.
So you're invisible, but you're not silent. You're hanging out in Stephanie's room. You let out a fart. She just follows the fart. She knows it wasn't her. Unless I'm going crazy. You know,
It's a
if
haunted
I got
fart.
a fart, I just fly and it just wafts behind me. I go up 10 feet in the air, fart, come back down. Nobody knows the wiser. Nobody is the wiser.
Nobody knows the wiser. I know the wiser. It's my position.
You're farting all
of
over
invisibility.
the place in the corner. You got to change your diet if you want to make this an effective plan.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rhett. Mr. Link, it's time for your closing statement.
Oh, this is closing statement already.
We're there.
Okay,
You have
that's
30
fine.
seconds.
That's all it took.
Ladies and gentlemen, being invisible is fun. Haunt mean people. Being invisible is good. Dabble in espionage. Being invisible is heroic. You make that choice of heroism. You make the difference. It's the less flashy choice, but it's the right thing to do. Invisibility is being completely transparent. Being completely transparent is what? Being completely honest. That's right. Honesty is invisibility. Make the honest choice and be honest with yourself. Don't tell me that you don't
Lake.
want to be invisible. You're lying.
Mr. Link.
Invisible mic drop.
Thank you, Mr. Link. Mr. Rhett, it's time for your closing statement. You have 30 seconds.
Add the sound in post for the invisible mic drop, please.
It's clear today that the obvious choice is flight, while my debating partner is running around naked and cold, stealing things and spying on little girls. I'll be soaring through the sky like a majestic eagle, exploring the world, rescuing cats from trees. I'm gonna fight crime too. Whenever I feel down, I'm just gonna go up, up and away into the sky. When people say, I feel so invisible, it's a bad thing. But when people say, man, I'm flying, man, it's always a good thing.
Thank you, Mr. Rhett.
Is it?
Flight is right.
This concludes our debate.
Just because he rhymed at the end, don't vote for him in the comments.
Three
But
times. I rhymed 3 times.
Yes, 3 of those words at the end rhyme.
Stephanie didn't dump me, by the way. She just wasn't interested.
See, you didn't even know she dumped you.
No,
If
we
you
were
were
never
invisible-
dating. We just went up to the prom, and I wanted a little more than just a friendly prom date. And she didn't.
What do you mean by that?
I don't want
what
to talk
did you-
about it. I'm
You
just,
wanted a girlfriend.
I wanted a girlfriend.
Okay.
And she missed her chance. But she
Hey,
regrets it now.
You didn't even know she dumped you, dude. You could have known that if you were invisible. But you could fly up to like the.
If I had flown that night, I would have. I mean, definitely.
She'd still be dating you now.
Oh, definitely.
You can fly up
But
to
I'll
like the
settle for
tree
your
limb
first-
outside of her window and look
your
in. That's
first
what you
wife.
would do. That's how creepy.
Okay, this
You,
episode is not brought to you by FarmersOnly.com, but
Let us know in the comments.
It's a great commercial. You should see it.
Vote on the issues and not on the person unless you're voting for me, and then also vote for the person. Thanks for liking and commenting on this video.
You know what time it is.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Dylan. We're from New Rochelle, New York, and it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
Studies show that most people think that sitting alone with the Rhett and Link bobbleheads is 70% as good as watching Good Mythical Morning. There's only one way to test that for yourself at rhettandlink.com/store.
Get that. Also, get the mugs there. Click through the Good Mythical More where we continue the debate, and there's some more interesting points that I'm gonna whoop out on you. Oh my goodness. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations to
Jules loves YT. We're gonna give you a unisong to promote your Twitter.
Well, you know Jules loves YT, and what does YT stand for? Stands for yams and taters. Yeah.
Both different types of potatoes.
You better dodge really good.
Yeah, that's why I got a camo.
Like the sky camel?
It changes, it's sky and then it's grass.
Oh, so you're invisible.